Thank you so much for being with us here on ITV Go, Sonal. I am so excited to have someone from Hollywood here joining us on ITV Go.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes, and just having you on the show, I first want to say congratulations for Mira, Royal Detective. It is such a huge success. And I'm so happy to finally see something for South Asians, in the animated series spectrum. But how has it been since the show was launched, and what kind of response have you been getting?
Oh, it's been so great. I feel like I've been hearing from all sorts of people, like just from all facets of my life, which is such a testament to the show itself,
Right.
because the show itself is, and being a part of it is, obviously amazing in every way, because it represents South Asian culture in such a beautiful and authentic way. And Sasha Palladino and Becca Topol. Sasha is the executive producer. Becca is a story editor, and them and their team, they are just the most wonderful, down-to-earth, genius writing team, creating team, and they've created such a magical show that appeals to everyone from all different backgrounds. So it's cool because I've been hearing from, I have a huge South Asian community in Chicago as well as here, but I've been hearing from a lot of friends from growing up, as well as like my niece and nephew, Rohan and Ashta, and my brother and everybody, and my parents. And then I've also been hearing from so many of my friends who are not Indian, and how much the show is resonating for them. And, my friend sent me a video yesterday of her daughter dancing, watching Mira, and, her daughter's not South Asian. And so that is so cool because, they're at home, they're stuck at home, but dancing to Indian music. And that is so special. So that's the response. That's my long-winded answer.
I'm so glad that you have this amazing energy. I'm already loving this. Just in terms with Mira, the kind of message it gives on a social level, the kind of community it empowers. Being a South Asian American, being raised in this country, this is not that all of us had when we grew up. How important do you think it is going to be to normalize South Asians in like this normal, bigger narrative now that we have a show like Mira, according to you? And also the star cast, all of you are South Asian Americans. And, how important do you think that was for the show to have that influence as well from its cast and crew?
Well, everything that you said, I reiterate it, is that all of it is in normalizing it's normalizing that representation, the South Asian representation on screen in the world of animation and with Disney.
Right.
Is so, you're right. I didn't have this growing up. My friends and I didn't have this kind of representation. And at the end of the day, we're all going to be watching TV. We're all entertained. The entertainment and arts industry is going to be around, right? And so if we're all going to be doing that, representation is so important, because these are the steps that can be taken to start abolishing ignorance and having a world where the truth is about kindness and helping others. And these themes that Mira, we can all be inspired by Mira, because she is this brave, confident girl, and she will inspire young age South Asian women and girls, but also South Asian boys, and also non-South Asian kids, and also the adults. Everyone can be inspired by her, because at the end of the day, she's leading with her heart. She's leading with kindness and helping her family and friends, and also, combating the bad people like me, or my character, I should say. But, she's doing all this. And so that's going to speak volumes to the girl, in the South Asian girl watching in Wheaton, which is where I'm from. And I'm not going to get emotional, but I guess I am. But I just think about, my parents and them coming to the States now, like 40 years ago, and, working so hard and doing creating this life for us and creating and starting from scratch. And now to have that, like, them be represented, it means so much. And I know it maybe is, maybe I'm making it seem like it means more than than the way I'm reacting to it, but it does. It means so much, because these are the things that I feel like are steps to change the world, when you are leading with kindness and leading with diversity and cultural awareness and authenticity, because they've done such a good job with the show to keep it as authentic as possible, and having cultural consultants and and the dance choreographer, everything is from every facet of the creative process has been done with so much authenticity and love. I hope I answered your question, but my point is yes.
You're not wrong about having such an emotional impact to the story, having such an emotional attachment to someone like Mira. While the audience is watching us on ITV Gold, this is something that they can watch right now. While we are going through this quarantine, we're going through COVID-19, and it is positive and it's filled with so many beautiful messages. What would you say to our South Asian parents that are watching you right now? They're looking for outlets to educate their children. Wouldn't you say this is such a great platform as well for that?
Oh, absolutely. And, right now, taking into account coronavirus, COVID, and the staying at home, my heart, it's heavy time, and it's a dark time. And me, along with everyone, is, we're weighted by what's going on in the world and how it's affecting people who are getting sick and their families, as well as the people affected by loss of work and industries shutting down, all of that. The one thing that's happening now with Mira is that if we're in such a world of darkness, that there is a light that Mira has, that when kids are home and they need it, like, she's such a perfect, the show is such a perfect like tool in terms of having that light and having that joy in people's homes right now. And so in terms of the adults, this is a show that everyone can enjoy and that everyone can dance along to in their apartments or in their houses, and because this is a time to dance, because sometimes what else can we do? And yeah.
For sure. And, I kind of want to dig in a little bit more into what you're up to right now. We have seen you in a range of TV shows. You've done so many short films. So many short films. It's incredible. And then you're doing so many TV shows that are, really representing you as a South Asian woman. You're really celebrated as one of the women who sort of broke into, network comedy show, on prime time. Talk to me about how that journey is going right now, and what are some of the plans that are going on?
Well, first of all, thank you. That's very nice of you. I guess my family's in Chicago, and I came out to Los Angeles quite some time ago, and I work really hard, and I am. That's something that's just been true since I was born, and I guess right now I am, Parvesh, who plays the other bumbling bandit, we have a development project with Disney right now. That's all I can say about it. But that's happening, which is fun. And also, what else am I doing? I co-teach an acting class with John Rosenfeld Studios, and so I'm doing that. I'm dancing a lot, as I said. I'm also writing a lot, and then also auditioning. We're doing tapes at home, and there have been, there's been some cool interest here and there with that. So but in terms of right now and what's going on, I'm really trying to embrace embrace wherever I'm at every day. If it means crying, then I cry. If it means writing, then I write. But having that, being in that creative process and meditating and journaling and taking this time to connect more with others through Zoom and FaceTime and through that way in technological ways, but also connect more with myself.
Right.
And that space artistically.
I ask you this, Sonal, because obviously with COVID-19 and with everything that's happening in this pandemic, we are basically shut down. And you also in California are hit pretty hard with this virus. In terms of looking at the industry itself, Hollywood, television, of all in all spectrum, your take on what's happening with the industry right now, and what kind of efforts have you seen in terms of relief, and also what kind of content is happening while everything is shut, and it's a lot of jobs and it's a lot of creativity. I want to dig in a little bit into what is the atmosphere around there right now in LA.
Well, I don't really know because I haven't left my apartment in so long.
I know I'm sure it's social distancing. Yes,
I'm social distancing. So yeah, I really have not left in weeks. But yeah, I guess though this is a time. There is this. That spirit of connectedness is happening right now. And, we are all alone together in this. And whatever is affecting one person there is solace in knowing that it's affecting everybody. Everybody in the world is affected by it. Everyone in the world is affected by this in some way or another. And that is, I'm not going to say it's incredible because it's not incredible, but there is something where as a community and citizens of the world, this is the biggest thing we've all gone through together in the first time in our lives. Right now, at least in my life, that there is a call for unity and connectedness. And yeah, as you said, in terms of Hollywood and creativity, I think we're all, there's, without having the pressure of it all and, this need to, I have to be productive every day all the time, because acknowledging though that there is a pandemic going on. I know that, at least for me, I've always, I think just even without being an actor, but my life goal has always been to kind of give as much joy and smiles to the world as possible. And so at least, and I feel like that's what, when I talk to my friends who are artists, and everyone's kind of like, okay, how can we make people laugh during this? How can we collaborate to do that? And so, like my friend and I are doing a little web series right now, and things like on Zoom and, things like that. And, but also, taking the time to have this space of, as a space away from that need to always do and just embrace being, because we don't get to do that often. So that, at least for me, is sort of, it's important to take this time to just be.
Definitely. And while we're talking more about this, I want to dig in a little bit more, since I have you here for a little bit more time. I want to dig into your acting career a little bit and sort of try to understand where a South Asian American woman who hails from Illinois derives her passion for acting and ends up doing comedy, ends up being on these huge network platforms, and ends up truly celebrating her identity. Talk to me a little bit about, how that journey has treated you, Sonal, and also about what were some of the most humbling experiences for you in your acting journey? Heavy question.
It all comes down. For me, it's all comes down to my family and my parents. I am so lucky and grateful to have parents that are very supportive. And I grew up doing Bollywood dance and competitions and performing everywhere. And this is in Chicago, and my parents were supportive of that. And I did all the plays and show choir and pom-poms and dance team, all of that stuff. And my parents they were at every single performance, at everything, all the time. They've always supported that. and they themselves are just such amazing, wonderful people that I'm inspired by every day. And it comes, and my brother, and my sister-in-law, and my niece and nephew, they're all just, it's the very, and my friends, everyone, so it comes from all of these, from all those sources that are so dear to me. And that is how I got into it, really, because I was always a performer. My mom in India back in the day was a performer, and she still is. So my parents are both really funny, and my family, we very much lead with laughter, and always trying to find the bright side of the situation. My dad is always encouraging us to stay positive and not overthink, and my mom always has like a funny analogy to go with everything. And so, so to be honest, it's really because of their support that then I realized, like, oh, this is something that I could do. And I went to Loyola in Chicago, and I was pre-med, but not because my parents wanted me to be. It was because I really wanted to be a doctor. Yeah, it was not actually my parents, I think, were more so like, really? You want to be a doctor? Like, you should be a doctor. And that's kind of, where it all has stemmed from. And this feeling of, if I could be even a small part of representing South Asians on TV and in entertainment, then if I can contribute to that in some way with the thing that I feel like I know how to do, like the thing that I know how to do best for me, then that's everything. And that's, to me, everything I want is to to bring that representation and bring that light and joy and connectedness to people. And I think love is such a big part of it, because it's such a big part of my life in terms of people. And also, like with Mira, every aspect, when you go in for a recording, and every aspect, seeing it kind of behind the scenes of how it works, there's so much love in and they're on such a human, beautiful level. And it's so real and genuine that you can't help but see that in the show when you watch it. And so, and that love is now then being spread on TVs and into homes. And to be a part of that, that's why I do what I do.
And in terms of just discussing what you do, I have to ask you, doing shorts, web series, TV shows, movies, also singing, having, teaching as well. Why is it so important for you to do segments of all of these mediums? And also, what has been the most satisfying medium for you personally?
Oh, that's a tough question. So
I love actors.
So wait, why am I? So you're asking why? What is my favorite of all of them, and why do all of that? Like, kind of why do
from the mediums that you worked on, because you've done so many, and it's a variety, and there's so many different themes. I was trying to see if you had a particular kind of a show or a particular kind of a comedy, but there's so much variety, and I love it. I love versatility, but I want to know why is that so important for you, and what caters to you the most?
Well, I mean, I love it. I love it all. I love it all because being an artist and being an actor allows for storytelling in a way that that truly connects to people's hearts. And it's important to me to kind of always keep learning and growing as a human and as an artist actor. So it's hard to pick just sort of one of the things, because I think I'm getting a lot from each thing, but also feel like maybe others are getting a lot from each thing, not just from me. I'm saying just in general with all the mediums, because they're all affecting people in different ways. For example, animation is going to affect children, and it's there for children and for their parents and for people watching in a different way than a theater or like a play that I'm doing that maybe only 30 people experience, but that magic of live theater and that moment and the energy that's created in that is so vibrant and special in its own way. And then doing TV is, it's, and then that's reaching a whole other group of people, people that are watching. And then for me, just doing all of them, I just want a job, at the end of the day, I'll take anything within reason, of course, but I like to work. So I really like, because and as an actor, there are many days where you are not working. Right. And so then comes the importance of creating your own content and writing and doing things to stay active, because at the end of the day, we're doing this because our souls this is what we have to do. Like, there is no, this is our mission, whether we want to or not. This is what we have to do, and create for the sake of creating and doing it for the sake of it and not for the result, and letting go, like staying in the process but not having those expectations. So, it's constantly crossing over these the life journey lessons and the art lessons of, even right now, the thing I feel like I'm being forced to do every day is let go and embrace the unknown, which is the same thing you do when you're doing a scene. Let go and embrace the unknown. What I teach when I tell my students, and so all of those things, but they're all the different mediums. There is so much that from each one that I think just collectively. But I like to work. I love people. I love meeting people. So you're meeting different people in all the different mediums too. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I would love for you to reflect on this partnership you have going on with Disney. It's beautiful. I love the fact that Disney is supporting South Asian artists on such a huge scale. Especially in the last decade, I've seen such a huge influence of South Asian artists in Disney. You just said that you're working on a project with, yourself, with Pravesh. Talk to me a little bit about this collaboration. What does that mean for you as an artist, Sonal?
So I can't say anything really about the project itself, but it means, but yes, but doing it right, just having this opportunity does mean so much. Pravesh and I have been friends for 20 years, and celebrating and just working together in general is so fun because it's easy, and we work well off each other, I think, and people have fun, and we like to make people laugh. We both have that common goal, and so I think it does mean so much, because in terms of representation, in terms of moving forward as a culture and community, and always celebrating the beauty and the joy of being South Asian and the compassion. So any chance I get to do that is really, and sharing, and also taking into account of sharing the culture with others. And so it's not seen as different or weird. And, people are kind of going back to your first question about normalizing. It's right. Having that, seeing kids in school, or seeing kids that aren't South Asian watching Mira, or being affected even by just like the Mira's existence, is that, hopefully they'll watch it and think, and see these kids running around Jaipur and think, oh, well, they're not that different from us. They're not that different from my friends and I, and without being, pretty soon it won't be seen as other.
Right.
And, I love, and it's interesting because I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois.
Right.
But I had, which is, there weren't a lot of South Asians in Wheaton. I did have a huge South Asian community in Chicago, which I mentioned before. I joke I have 27 brothers, but really it's true. I have about 27 guys that I consider my brothers, and other wives and their kids, and but my school itself, we didn't have that. We didn't have a lot of South Asians, but I always loved sharing and doing everything I could to tell everything about how amazing it is to be Indian to everyone. That's just been a huge part of, I think, my life and my upbringing. I love being Indian and Indian American and sharing that with people. And the more I get to do that, like with this project, and the more I get to do that with anything I do is I mean, it's a privilege.
You know, I
Absolutely.
was to ask you about, and I don't care about the 5-year end goal. If I was to just ask you about your goals for just the next year till 2021, in terms of your creative energy, your creative talent, in terms of what you want out of your acting, writing, or if there are other pursuits you have, what would you say right now if I was to ask you that question?
Mm.
What are you hoping in just this year? What are some of the goals Sonal is focused on?
It's interesting because, you know, that's changed now, especially because of COVID-19. And I think I have been focusing so much more on being present
Yeah.
and, uh, you know, not necessarily like planning so much, but being in process. So I guess my goal really is to continue being in a creative process, and also to inspire as many people as possible to love more, to uh, have more joy, and to celebrate life and humanity as much as possible. I think that's really my goal, is to and to, you know, always hustle. I just started like I'm a certified integrative nutrition coach, so I've actually started writing about that a little, and you know, here and there, and because I want to share that. And I also am looking for a man. In all seriousness.
Everyone is going to start sending his application.
So my goal really is to find a man. Not because I need one, but because I want one.
This brings me up to such an excellent point, and I know we're coming to a close to the interview, so I just only have 2 questions left. One is, you know, we're really trying to empower South Asian American women, even through COVID-19. There's always this entire push for it. You know what it means to be an empowered woman and to empower others. Your message out to fellow South Asian women that are watching you on ITV Gold, and sort of how should they advocate for their voice this year? This is a really relevant year for sure for all of us. But a little take on that.
Can you repeat the last thing you said? It cut out a little. You said how to advocate.
Yes, how should they advocate for themselves? You know, how should they have their voice out? I would love for you to give out a message for fellow South Asian women.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing I would say is don't listen to what I have to say, because you should trust yourself. So maybe that's what I'm telling you. And because I don't want to be the one to tell you what to do. But my message would be to really, because I don't want to be the one to tell you what to do, but I'm gonna. And that is really to trust yourself, look deep in your heart, and hopefully lead with kindness. And find that kindness in your heart. Be inspired by Mira, and do just to honor wherever you're at, and know that you are essential. You know, we're hearing the word a lot of essential, and know that you are essential, and that you dig deep. You can use this time to dig deep into yourself and connect to find out what it is that you want to do. And if you want to share your voice, share it. And if you don't, that's okay too. So I just I guess that's I and you know, if you feel lonely, call me.
And one last question for you here, Sonal. I would love for you to give out a message to your fellow South Asian artists, actors, musicians, writers, songwriters. There is a whole industry of, very influential and very talented South Asian American artists. And I'm so happy to see all of us grow together as well in this. Your message out for the entire community since I have you here. And I love the positivity we're getting to this interview today. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, good. Thanks. Positive. I mean, to other South Asian artists, I say just do it. Keep doing it. If you feel that desire to tell stories and to collaborate, do it, because there's one thing we know now: we really can't wait to get anything done. So live in the present. Do what you want to do, and hopefully that is in the world of good. And yeah, just do it. Just do it.
You just
Really.
have to. Again, congratulations for Mira. Please tell everyone to tune in to watch it every night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.